Hello YouTube, my name is Paul, hope you're all keeping well. I thought I'd do another collection video and this time show you some of the games I've got for the PlayStation 3. Now, when I had a PlayStation 3 I predominantly played on a PC, which I have done really for the last sort of 22, 23 years. So when I bought consoles whilst I had the PC, they haven't really been, I suppose, a major focus for me. So a lot of the games I've got on the PlayStation 3 are quite recent additions, which I picked up because prices are really cheap. Now I've got about 50 or so standalone steelbooks which I've picked up over the last sort of 3 or 4 years really, and loads of these games I've never played before, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I haven't. But quite a few games I've played, but I've played them on the PC. Now, the PlayStation 3 I first picked up in 2007, I think it was during the summer. I remember buying it because I bought my first ever Blu-ray disc as well, so that was pretty cool. It was a Sean Penn film, something to do with politics. Can't remember what was bloody cool, but it was really good. And I used that particular machine mainly for playing Blu-ray discs, but there were some obviously exclusive games that came out for the PlayStation 3, hence why I buy the console alongside the PC really. But yeah, so what I do is I flick through some of these steelbooks. Like I said, most I haven't played, some I have played, and I'll show you some of the really nice ones that are amongst the collection. Now steelbooks generally are quite cheap, that's why I picked them up. Most of them you can probably pick up for 2 or 3 quid. I tend to buy them on eBay because I like to see what I'm buying. If you go through CEX, it's a lot of hassle sending them back for that little money. If it's a PlayStation game, PlayStation Mega Drive game or a Super Nintendo game, it's a different story. But if it's something that's hardly worth anything, there's no point. Now some of these steelbooks are exclusives to different retailers. So there's a couple of Zavvi exclusives, for example. Game do a lot of exclusives, even nowadays do tons of them. Some of the steelbooks were free gifts when you bought the game, and some of the games just came in the steelbooks. Yeah, and obviously sold separately. So what I'll do is I'll flick through them. If I've got the game and the steelbook, I'll show you both, because sometimes the artwork on the steelbook won't necessarily say what the game is. Excuse me. Right, the first game I'm going to show you then, so I've got them scattered around me all over the bloody place, is this strange one which has a needle in it. Zombrex. I think it's one of the first ones I ever bought actually. One of the first steelbooks. Again, this was really cheap, but problem with this, if they're not packaged very well, they get dented really easily, and also they rust as well very quickly. So try and keep them well protected as you can. This is one of the most boring looking ones I've got. As you can see there, a nice little dent. It don't take much to dent these things. But yeah, so I'm not going to show you them all. For some reason I got I was going to say I got Dead Rising in there, but it is bloody Dead Rising. It's a Zombrex edition. But yeah, so this is one of the few steelbooks that actually has something with it like this. I thought it was a bit bloody random. There we go. Get my fix later on. So yeah, that one's a bit of a strange one because it is quite large in size. It doesn't fit very nicely on the shelf. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest. I would like a replacement for this, as this is a little bit tatty. Right, next up. This is just a steelbook for Bioshock Infinite. I'm not quite sure where you get this from. There's no game in it, it literally is just a standalone steelbook, which you can't really see very well with all the glare. But yeah, it's not much on it, to be honest. Now, they've got different sizes, haven't they? Like G2, G3, G1, I've got no idea. This is one of the bigger ones anyway, which is designed not just for the PlayStation 3, but also the Xbox 360 or PC. Again, that one was about £3 or £4 to pick up when I picked it up. It'll probably be one of the more desirable ones in the days and weeks and years to come. Right, next up is London 2012, which was for a time quite difficult to get. Quite a funky steelbook. Again, bit of damage on it, as you can see at the bottom there. Nothing on the back to show you. It's just a standalone game. Again, one of those larger G2 tin. I don't actually think it tells you on it what it is. That's that one. Next up is Vanquish, which I remember buying this game. It was quite a frantic game, never completed it though. But yeah, it's quite a nice book of sorts. I'm sure I got one which has got a lenticular front, but again it's just basically Yeah, that's it really. It's quite a nice steelbook actually. Not bad at all. Some of them can be quite bland and look quite boring. Crap. Right, next is Mafia 2. Now Mafia 2, the steelbook came as part of this little sort of limited edition pack. Now, I love Mafia 2 on the PC. I played this one and all its DLC, which unfortunately wasn't as good as the game, to death. But I love the series. And the steelbook itself is actually really nice. Yeah, one of my favourite steelbooks. This one was a little bit, about 15-20 quid. But yeah, brilliant game, brilliant game. Did love that. In fact, one of the few people that really enjoyed the first one, to be honest. And number 3 is really good. Next up is Yakuza 4, which I didn't realise was part of, well, not part of the Shenmue series, but kind of its spiritual successor, if you like. Again, a really nice steelbook, one that can go for a bit more nowadays, probably 20 quid. Like I said before, none of these games are really that expensive. It's in quite a nice steelbook actually. Yeah, there's quite a few in this series. Unfortunately, I've never played it. In fact, I've never played any of the Shenmue games either. Which I should do really with the impending release of Shenmue 3. Which I can't wait to receive my copy of that. Whenever that is due to land. That's Yakuza, one of the more desirable titles. Castlevania, Lords of Shadow. This is the collector's steelbook. I'm not sure if it's the same as what's in my collector's edition. So I've got a multitude of steelbooks in collector's editions as well. And some of them are completely different to the standalone ones. And in some cases, you can only get steelbooks in some of those collector's editions in the first place. Injustice, Gods Among Us. This is different to the collector's edition steelbook. Again, a very nice one. I do like this one. Unfortunately, I never played that series either. Now, series I have played, and on the PlayStation, is Beyond Two Souls. I enjoyed Heavy Rain, I enjoyed this, and I absolutely love Detroit. Again, quite a cheap one to pick up. Aliens vs Predator, I'm pretty sure this is exactly the same as the one that's in the collector's edition. It's the collector's edition that has the face hugger on it. And this game was quite a letdown. Luckily, I never played it. Now, this next steelbook, unfortunately, is incomplete because it's missing its sleeve. Now, the very early steelbooks didn't come with like protective sleeves. They just came, well, as you can see here, really, and they're really susceptible to be scratched and dented. So this one's incomplete, unfortunately, because I am missing the outer sleeve. But it's quite a nice steelbook, nonetheless. Next game is called Mag, collector's edition. Again, another steelbook. A game I've never played. I doubt I'll ever play it because these servers for this particular game no longer exist or are no longer running. The first game I bought for PlayStation 3 was a game called Resistance, Fall of Man. I've never played any of its sequels, and this one is Resistance 3. I think the second one was supposed to be very good. When I first put it on the system, I was disappointed by how bad it looked. Bearing in mind that that same year, in 2007, I was playing games like Crysis on my PC. But yeah, that was an amazing game graphically. But when I played Resistance, Fall of Man, I was a bit like taken aback. But a lot of my favourite games in that era, sort of Bioshock and Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, those sorts of games, I only ever played on the PC. Killzone 2, a cracking game that was. I've completed this one. Brilliant game. I've not played any others. I think I got Killzone on the PlayStation 4. Shadowfall, yeah, I've never played it. But that one was absolutely fantastic. Now this one is probably the most desirable steelbook, and that is Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition, which I think I picked up for about 60 quid. But now can go for 3 figures, which is crazy really. It's not uncommon, but highly desirable. I think anything to do with Dark Souls seems to be highly desirable. Very nice steelbook, albeit a bit dark. I'm not sure if you open it up, you can see. Nah, it's different. It's different image at the back there. Again, a couple of small dinks at the bottom there, but yeah, very nice sort of blue on black image, really. I really like this one, but again, it's bloody expensive nowadays. It can go for at least 100 quid, 150. Bloody hard game as well. I bought that game and I couldn't get off the first bloody baddie, the first actual main monster you come across. Flipping rock hard. And unfortunately, with rock hard games, I do tend to get put off them very quickly. I like to just be able to put a game on and play it, really. Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. Not sure if this is quite a recent pickup. And again, I've never played a Final Fantasy game, ever. Crazy, really, because it's one of those kind of mainstay games, isn't it, really? This is Final Fantasy 13 Part 2. Pre-order bonus pack. Go pick this one up quite cheap a little while ago. Now's the time to pick them up if you're interested in this sort of thing. I know a lot of people aren't interested in the modern day games, but to be honest, they're nice to have in the collection. Rainbow Six Vegas 2, which I played this on the PC. My PC at the time was bloody too slow to play this properly, so it took me a little while to play this game on a decent PC. It's a really good game. Really good game. I completed that one. Again, a very early steelbook. There's no slipcase. It's just the barcode's literally printed on the steelbook itself. Now, this next one, there's 4 variants. One of these variants is actually mine. I bought from the shop. I think it's the only steelbook I've actually ever bought, brand new, on my PlayStation 3, which is this one. So Arkham City, I played it for a bit. I liked it, but it was nowhere near. It didn't captivate me the same way as Arkham Asylum, which I thought was one of the best games I'd ever played at that point. Absolutely brilliant game. I'd love to go back. If I get my PlayStation 3 sorted out, I'll get a new one. Go back and play Arkham Asylum. It's one of those few games that when you play it, you can't get it out of your head. And that's when you know you're playing an awesome game. But there's different variants. I forgot to show you that, so I'll bloody point at showing you all 3 of them. There's 4 variants. The one I don't have is Two-Faced, and that's one of the hardest to get. There's Joker. It's one I picked up from Tesco. Apparently different retailers had different images on the back of the case. This one's quite a difficult one to get, and my most recent edition, and that's Catwoman. And this one here is, I keep forgetting his bloody name, Penguin. But yeah, I've only ever played these 2 in the series. But the first one, yeah, absolutely magical game. And the most recent pickup I got, which I literally got in the last week, is Call of Duty World at War. Again, played this on my PC. Another cracking game back then was Modern Warfare, wasn't it? The first one. That was a bit of a game changer, wasn't it? But yeah, I had that on PC as well. Next up is Gran Turismo 6. I've only ever played the first 2. This number 2 was absolutely amazing. But yeah, lovely steelbook, this one. Again, quite cheap. I have got the collector's edition, but I'm not sure if it's number 6. I can't remember. But I think it's got a steelbook in it as well. I might be wrong. Little Big Planet 2. Never played this series of games either. Quite a big success from what I remember. Quite a nice steelbook. Cracking game that I had on the PC, and that's Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway. Played this one to completion. Very good game. Nice steelbook too. I like these red steelbooks. They're quite cool. I've got Sniper, Ghost Warrior. Never played this game. Got a decent steelbook to look at. Game I never knew I had. This one, yeah, I was quite surprised to have this actually. It's still sealed as well, and that's Thief. I was taking these games off the shelf. I was quite surprised. Again, that was dirt cheap. Another really old one is Clive Barker's Jericho. This is a special edition. With a creaky chair going on here. It's not my legs, it is my chair. Prince of Persia. I've got the other edition of this as well. It's slightly bigger. But I don't think it's got a steelbook in it. I think it's got an art book in it instead. Alright, what else we got? Now this one I didn't realise had a steelbook in it. And that is Tekken Tag. I remember buying Tekken Tag on my PlayStation 2. Tekken Tag 2. Look at that. It weighs a flipping ton, this does actually. So inside it is a steelbook. So what I thought I'd do is dig out all the standalone steelbooks, any steelbooks that may be in a small pack like this. But this one, bloody awesome. This is a steelbook. It might even be a steelbook. Because apparently steelbooks have written inside them steelbook, but this one is, look at that. It's the first time I've actually took this one out of the box. It's got to be one of my favourites now. But yeah, at the bottom of the actual steelbook itself, it usually says steelbook. So I can find it. So I can show you an example without breaking the flipping discs. So by the time I take all this gump out, it won't even say it. Nah, bastard. But yeah, really pleased to see this inside that box anyway. Well, there you go. That's Tekken Tag 2. Very flimsy outer box, bloody hell. Again, that wasn't too expensive either. Right, next up is, not those two, Turok. First ever played that on the Xbox. Again, another very early steelbook. Quite a nice one. Pro Evolution Soccer. Now this one's got many different variants. This was quite cheap, literally about £1. There's a Manchester United one. It's a shame it's not a Liverpool FC one, because that is my team. But I've seen a I think I've seen a Spanish one. I'm not sure it's Barcelona. I think it's a Barcelona one as well. So there are some variants to that if you're into sort of collecting those. This is probably one of my favourite steelbooks on the PlayStation 3. I'll take it out of its sleeve, and that is the game called Shadow of Mordor. This particular game is raised, as you can see the image there. Look at that. But yeah, really nice steelbook. Absolutely fantastic. Again, one of the more pricier ones. I'm trying to show you where it says steelbook, and every flipping one I've opened so far don't say it. How bizarre. But yeah, it can go for about 20 quid these days, maybe a little bit more. So I picked this one up about a year ago. So still outstanding maybe about a dozen steelbooks. Sort of UK releases anyway. So that's Shadow of Mordor. You got PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. Got no idea what that's all about. That's the game anyway. Then we got Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, another nice steelbook. Another franchise I never got into was Mortal Kombat, even though number 11's about to be released. This game I absolutely loved on the PlayStation 3, Bad Company Battlefield, or Battlefield Bad Company. When you play Cabal on the old computers and you can shoot the buildings down and that, you can do that in 3D. There's nowhere to hide. Brilliant. You can be hid behind a wall, RPG comes in, that wall's no longer there. It's flipping fun, great fun. Probably one of the best games released on the PlayStation 3. In fact, probably one of the best games released of all time. Now, I quite enjoyed the whole franchise, but this particular one stood out a country mile. Uncharted 2. Massive upgrade on the first one. I played this one quite recently on the PlayStation 4 remaster. I think I had a trilogy of them. I went for the entire lot. Got a really funky size case here, and that's Hayes. I'm not quite sure, they have gradings, don't they, or size gradings, G1, G2, G3 or whatever. One was specifically designed for Blu-ray and PlayStation. And one was for bigger consoles like the 360, which had always got released in bigger cases for some reason. Another one of those large steelbooks is Superbike World Championship. Quite a difficult one to get hold of, in nice condition. Bigger these things are, the worse they look in terms of their condition, I find. The daddy of them all is Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the Skull Edition. Another nice steelbook. I've had this one for quite some time. I think I've got the collector's edition, or two collector's editions for this. Look at that. That is one of the nicest steelbooks out there. There's about two more Assassin's Creed game steelbooks I'd like, and I think they're all from part 3. Look really nice, all got some fantastic artwork like that. Almost towards the end, I've got Tales of Exila, is it? Or Xillia 2. This is the Day 1 edition. I don't have the original game Day 1 edition, but I do have the collector's edition for it. Again, not a nice steelbook. Got Resident Evil 6. I played 1, 2, 3, 5 and 7. Never played 4 or 6, and apparently 4 is one of the best games out there. But I do have the Nail Bomb edition of number 6, I think. I'm not sure that's the same steelbook in it or not. I think that's it for all my standalone steelbooks. Like I said, I've got quite a few in collector's editions. So steelbooks like the Nano edition for Crysis 2. It's part of the larger collector's edition. I've got quite a few standard cased PlayStation 3 games to show you. Some of my originals are still in there. I don't have many, it's literally just that shelf I'm pointing at there. But the two shelves below it are sort of your smaller collector's editions or limited editions. So what I'll do next is probably go through the standalone games in the next video I do. Go through the limited editions, then go through the collector's editions, which I'll probably just show you on camera rather than taking them all apart and having a look at them. So I've got literally 3 cabinets, I think, full of, I think it's those 3 there are just collector's editions. So we go through those in another video. So I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, it's a bit different to the norm because it's quite modern stuff. I do play modern games, believe it or not, even if I don't have much time to do so. And like I said, I want to have a console sort of representing each generation. So I'm missing a first generation console, which, to be totally honest, I don't really care because it's way before my time. And the games don't look like games, do they? But in theory I should have one, but I don't know which one to even bother to get. And I don't have a generation 6 or 6th generation console because I sold all my Dreamcast games off, so I need to go back and revisit that. Do I go for the Xbox, the original Xbox, go back to Dreamcast as part of the Sega collection that I collect for. PlayStation 2, there's too many games. I mean, I might get a few games from the actual system I had, but it's not only that, I just hate, a bit of snobbery really, I hate the spines. It's just all bloody plain and boring. But I'll probably get a few PlayStation 2 games that I used to play and used to enjoy, but I might go back to the Dreamcast or original Xbox. Not sure really, to be completely honest. It's not really a priority, but anyway, so thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, if you're going to pick this sort of stuff up, pick it up soon because it is cheap. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Take care and bye for now.